Okay, so let's take a look at question 8 from 5.2 homework. Question 8 states 39.5% of consumers believe that cash will be obsolete in the next 20 years. Assume that 7 consumers are randomly selected. Find the probability that fewer than 3 of the selected consumers believe that cash will be obsolete in the next 20 years. All right. So believe it or not, these problems are actually pretty easy. We have to identify 3 things. So first, this is binomial. We're in the binomial section. So obviously we know we're working on binomial problems, right? Binomial means that there's one of 2 possible outcomes. In this case, it's consumer believes the cash will be obsolete, or the consumer does not believe that. So we need to identify N, P, and X when we're doing binomial problems, right? N, P, and X. Remember that. N, P, and X. So N is the number of trials, or in this case, it's the number of consumers that we're looking at, right? So we have 7 consumers that are randomly selected. So I'm going to write down N equals 7. P is the probability. And now it's important that we identify what we're calling success and what we're calling failure. So they give us 39.5% of the consumers believe that cash will be obsolete. So that's what we're going to call a success. So success is consumer believes that cash will be obsolete. A failure would be a consumer does not believe that. So the probability that a consumer believes that, we have to move the decimal place to the left by 2, since they are giving us a percentage, right? So the probability is equal to 0.395. And then what is X? So X is what we're looking for, right? We're going to be looking for, the probability that exactly one consumer believes that would be the probability that X equals 1, or the probability that fewer than 3 believe that. Okay, so now one of the things that can be tricky is you have to watch the wording. Like things like fewer than 3. Does fewer than 3 include 3? It does not. So we can either look for the probability that X is less than 3, or equivalently, we could say that the probability of X is less than or equal to 2. All right, so watch this. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to, here, let me hide this real quick. So we're going to open up StatCrunch. Okay, so I've written down N is equal to 7, P is equal to 0.395, and we're looking for the probability that X is less than 3, or that X is less than or equal to 2. Those mean the same thing. So we're going to go to Stat, Calculators, and then Binomial, right? Stat, Calculators, Binomial. And now the binomial calculator is going to ask you what's N, what's P, and what are we looking for? So our N is equal to 7. P is a probability. So the probability is 0.395. And what are we looking for? We're either looking for X is less than or equal to 2, or X is less than 3. They mean the same thing. Okay, so once we enter that into StatCrunch Binomial Calculator, we get a value of 0.431, or about 43% probability that there will be fewer than 3 people that believe that cash will be obsolete. So let's enter this into the response box, and we're correct. So that concludes this video.